And we're going to finish up Engage today. And the title of today's, or the topic is Engage to Multiply. And Rooted Men, discipleship is about multiplication. I want you to think about the first person, or maybe the person that was most influential in sharing Jesus Christ with you. Had he not shared that truth with you, or she shared that truth with you, you probably wouldn't be where you are today. And behind every faithful follower of Jesus Christ is someone that's done that, and maybe multiple people that have done that. I know in my life that is true, but I can remember Pastor Bill Wagner sitting down with me. It was the early 90s, and I had this desire within me to be a better husband, be a better father, be a better coach. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. And he sat down with me and he shared the true gospel. And we got into Ephesians 2, and he shared with me what grace is and how it influences us and how it buoys us each and every day. And it totally changed how I looked at everything. I probably saw myself as a person who, if my performance wasn't at a certain level, I was trying to relate performance to my faith walk. And I was failing miserably. And when he showed me what the true power of grace is, and he was an old football player, so he was using sports analogies with me. He was relating to me. He was doing life with me and sharing the true gospel and engaging the gospel with me. And it was an amazing experience. Even though I didn't become a true follower right away, a seed was definitely planted that was later cultivated by others. I want to go to the story of Zacchaeus because I think it's fascinating how Jesus saw him and what happened afterwards, and it relates to multiplication. In Luke 19, 1 through 10, it reads, "He entered into Jericho and was passing through. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. And he was seeking to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd, he could not, because he was small in stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. And when Jesus came to that place, he looked up to him and said, 'Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today.' So he hurried, he came down, and he received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all grumbled. And these are the people around him that saw what was happening. 'He has gone to be the guest of a man who was a sinner.' And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, 'Behold, Lord, half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold.' And Jesus said to him, 'Today salvation has come to this house, since he is also a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost.'" You see, Jesus at this time, he's engaging the individual, but he's also thinking about those within the circle of influence, the household of Zacchaeus. He engages both of them. And so consider this, how Jesus did this. He said, "I'm coming into your house today." He saw Zacchaeus as a person of peace, someone that was seeking, even though from a cultural standpoint, he was considered a sinner. And so I found out that in the Greek, the word house is interpreted as household or circle of influence. You see, Jesus wasn't just going into a location, but into a community of people that interacted and resided together. So the result was not only did Zacchaeus receive salvation, but his whole household received it. It's amazing. It was an intentionality that if we're a true follower and a disciple maker, that we need to have. So one of the tools that I use with FCA is called an E3 map. And so I want to give you a visual just to put it up here. And if you can see that, it would be you in the inner circle. And then in the outer circle, those 4 main hubs coming off of that, those could be people that you do life with, that are within your circle of influence, like Zacchaeus, that are seeking, that you can engage with using all those strategies that we've been talking about. But also you need to think about, they know other people within their household, people within their circle of influence that could be happening. This is about the multiplication process. So I do this with every school that I'm engaging with. And usually that person in the center is a coach, is an athletic director, it's someone I know within the community that I'm going to focus my attention on and building up that relationship with and applying the E3 method. So I'm a visual guy, so this helps me a lot. And I don't know if there's another method that you have in that thought process, but my question to you would be, do you have a way to define the networks that you are sharing the gospel with? And are you having some intentionality with that, where God has placed you with the gifts that he's given you? I also want you to think, most importantly, about spending time investing in people that are a person of peace. And what I mean by that, and this refers back to Luke 10, 1-12, where Jesus is talking about, when you go into a home, if that is a place of peace, and they invite you in, you want to bless that house. You want to make sure that you're investing in them and spending time with them, because they're receptive to the Spirit. They're seeking. And so we don't want to spend a ton of our time and energy and effort discipling someone that's rejecting, that's not there yet, that's not ready. It doesn't mean we don't love them. It doesn't mean we don't share. It just means that we're not probably going to come back and invest.